Have you ever been leading a game and then somehow lost control of it? Recently, I noticed something uncomfortable. In two different matches, both important, I lost from leading position. The two games were completely different, but the pattern was exactly the same. I don't want to talk about results today. I want to talk about something which happens internally when a game starts to matter. Because looking back, the interesting part was not the opponent. It was what changed in me. And maybe this is something many of us experience without noticing. About 3 weeks ago, I played a tournament final. My game felt natural, the rhythm was there. Everything felt under control, I didn't have to force anything. The throws were just coming one after another, in a way that felt familiar. And somewhere during the game I realized I was ahead. Not by a huge margin, but enough that I started thinking about the result instead of just the next visit. And something small changed. I started trying to finish the game instead of just playing it. It wasn't panic, it wasn't even pressure. It was more like an internal urgency, as if the finish line became visible. My pace became slightly faster, nothing dramatic, but different enough that my rhythm didn't feel the same anymore. And the strange thing is that at the time it still felt logical, like I was just trying to be efficient. But slowly the control disappeared. The game started to feel heavier and I was reacting instead of flowing. And at the end, I lost the final. Right after the game, I already knew I had made a mistake. I even talked about it briefly in one of my previous videos. But at the time, I thought it was just one of those matches, something that happens, so I just moved on. But then the Swedish Championship happened, and suddenly I saw something very similar. Earlier that day, I played a tight match against a strong Swedish player. The pace was high, and I stayed calm in critical moments. It wasn't perfect darts, but mentally I felt stable. I trusted my game, and I won with an average close to 87. Then in the next round, I was playing with one of the Swedish PDC professionals, and surprisingly, before the game I felt calm and confident again. I started a bit slowly, but then I got back into the match with 2 strong legs and a decent checkout. So mentally I was stable again. Then came the 5th leg which I started. And I remember a thought appearing. This is my chance. Nothing negative, actually it's a positive thought. I didn't feel like pressure, it felt more like an opportunity. But right after that, something shifted. Without really noticing, I started pushing my scoring, trying to make something happen faster. Almost like I wanted to secure the momentum before it disappeared. My rhythm wasn't the same anymore. The throws came a little quicker. The decision-making felt slightly rushed. And the strange thing is that from outside, nothing dramatic happened. It was just a small change in the tempo. But at that level, small changes matter. And against a player with that kind of experience, that small shift was enough. I could almost feel the moment turning. He sensed that opening and stepped into it immediately. After the match, it became clear. The problem wasn't the pressure. The problem was believing I was leading. In both matches, the moment I became aware of the result, I stopped trusting my natural game. Instead of playing, I tried to secure the outcome. And that's when control started slipping. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized something else. In darts, leading is just a perception. It feels real when you are in it, but objectively, it's never stable. One good visit can change everything. One missed opportunity can turn the wheel immediately. But the moment I felt I was leading, I started playing differently. Almost like I was protecting something which actually didn't exist yet. And maybe that's the mistake, because the game itself hasn't changed. Board is the same, distance is the same, task is the same. Only my thinking changed. And that change is enough to break the rhythm. I'm starting to believe the solution isn't about playing better when you're ahead. It's about not changing anything at all. Same rhythm, same mindset, same pace, until the last dart is thrown. And honestly, this realization felt good, because seeing a pattern means it's not random and I can work on it. I've improved enough to be in these situations now, important moments, close games. And maybe the next step is not about throwing better, just to carry on with the game what brought me there. I also wonder if this happens more often than we think, and not just in darts. When we feel closer to success, we push harder instead of just trusting. We change something what was already working, and the irony is that the lead itself creates the problem. So lately I've been thinking about this idea. Maybe losing control doesn't start when we are behind. Maybe it starts when we realize we are ahead. And if that's true, maybe realizing the pattern is actually the first step forward. But for me personally, there was another takeaway also from this weekend. I've been practicing a small breathing routine before matches for a couple months now. Usually it helps me to reset before the game starts. But this time, for the first time, I managed to use it even within a game between throws. It only happened a couple times, but it worked. I want to keep experimenting with that, and probably I will talk about it more in a future video. Anyway, those are the thoughts I've been sitting with lately. Thanks for spending this time with me today. And as always, darts is fun, watch and play every day. Cheers.